Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the March 7th edition of Carolina Week.
You get bored sitting in your dorm room, you don't have any place to go, and it's cold and stuff like that. You're like, let's get high.
We'll give you a closer look at the use of illegal drugs on campus.
At Fort Bragg, officials are balancing effective training with environmental sustainability.
In sports, Carolina football players worked out in front of Scouts on Tuesday. Will any of them take their axe to the pros?
Everyone's favorite weathercaster, Johnny O, is here with a look at your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
Plus, a man who has danced his way around the globe makes a stop here.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Kate Schoen.
And I'm Alex Villarreal. We begin tonight with a look at drug use on campus. Officials admit they don't have any way of knowing how big a problem it really is. One student we spoke with says he's continued using drugs since he got here and isn't at all worried about being caught by university officials or the police.
I'm not trying to look for friends that, just use drugs. I just meet people, and a lot of them use drugs.
This UNC freshman, we'll call him Charlie, says he's used a number of illegal drugs: marijuana, shrooms, barbiturates, even cocaine.
It sounds crazy, but I never really considered myself to have a drug problem. I wasn't getting high every day or something like that. It was more just weekends and stuff, when you get bored or something like that. I could quit anything I wanted at any time.
But coordinator of UNC's substance abuse program, Morris Godwin, says that line of thinking is what gets students in trouble.
There's something definitely wrong when a person, regardless of who that person is willing to break the law in order to use a particular substance. It's more than just risk-taking.
And for UNC students, the risks are huge. UNC has its own laws about illegal drugs and its own sanctions. A student who gets caught with an illegal substance could face probation, suspension, even expulsion. For cocaine, a Schedule II drug, the lowest penalty for possession is suspension for at least 1 semester. For possession with the intent to sell, it's an automatic expulsion from all 16 UNC system schools. Assistant Dean of Students Jonathan Sauls oversees UNC's judicial system and says students should be more protective of their futures.
Even folks who feel like they've got things pretty under control on the front end, depending on how those behaviors progress, I think there is a direct correlation between some of the students who find themselves academically ineligible and whether or not they're abusing, whether it be alcohol or drugs or any other substance.
But many students, like Charlie, aren't worried.
I wouldn't get caught. You got to be doing something pretty stupid to get caught by the police. I think that's why I continue using drugs. It's just that it never really affected me negatively.
Charlie says he stopped getting high a few months ago because he wanted to focus more on school, but not because he was worried about getting caught. And if you take a look at the numbers, you can see why students like Charlie aren't too concerned. From October 1st, 2005 to October 1st, 2006, the Honor Court resolved just 17 drug-related cases. 15 resulted in a 1 to 2 semester probation, which means those students could remain in school, and only 2 cases ended with a 1 semester suspension. At the end of October, police arrested 3 business school students on drug possession charges.
Students who want to live on campus next year don't have long to recontract for the fall. With Carmichael Residence Hall closing its doors, students have to find a different place to live. The housing department says renovation in Carmichael is needed to fix the current heating and cooling problems. One option for students is Morrison Residence Hall, which is currently under renovation but will reopen in the fall. Morrison will have new suites with 3 bedrooms and a living room. UNC freshman Dawn Sankery lives in Carmichael now but says she wants to live on South Campus next year.
There's more people that live down there, so you have a better community and you can visit people easier. And North Campus is closer to classes, and after a long day of classes, you don't really want to stay in the same area.
To secure a place on campus, send a $200 deposit along with the online housing application. The deadline for recontracting is Friday.
Morrison will boast another new feature when it reopens in August. Director of the UNC Sustainability Office, Cindy Shea, says students are responsible for its introduction.
At the Morrison Residence Hall, there are now solar hot water panels on the roof of the building that will produce the water for the showers that students take. And that money came largely from students themselves.
Shea says North Carolina's warmer climate means more AC units in campus buildings, but solar panels aren't the only way to reduce energy output. The Rams Head Center also collects rain to water its greenery and provides a market, rec center, and dining hall all within walking distance of South Campus. Along with stormwater management and renewable energy, alternative transportation is an area of focus for the Sustainability Office.
Environmental sustainability is an issue everywhere, including here on campus and at Fort Bragg. Reporter Sarah Moore says one of the largest military bases in the country is trying to minimize its environmental footprint.
Fort Bragg is on the front lines of America's fight in Iraq. But this village isn't in Iraq, it's right here in North Carolina. Fort Bragg is also on the front lines of a battle that we will all fight in the 21st century, the battle for environmental sustainability. Take, for instance, Baghdad, where Fort Bragg troops are trained for actual conditions on the ground in Iraq. This village is built mostly out of recycled Sealand containers used for shipping materials overseas. These containers have a limited lifespan in their original function, but can continue to be valuable for training. Fort Bragg has the rare opportunity and responsibility to test what can actually work in a diverse population. Paul Wirt says that one of their largest projects has been making Fort Bragg sustainable. They came up with the idea of a triple bottom line.
So we have these sort of three competing interests: community and well-being, our mission, and the environment. And the question was, how are we going to pull all three of those together?
Sustainability is doing the smart thing now so they can continue to operate in the future. The challenge of sustainability for a military base is protecting the environment while still addressing the need to protect and train their troops. One of the main goals of sustainability at Fort Bragg is to eliminate all waste by the year 2025.
And people say, zero waste. You're never going to have zero waste. There's always, you can't say that you're not going to throw anything away. And our position is, well, in a quarter of a century, it's entirely possible.
Fort Bragg is the front runner in this environmental effort, but others are joining those efforts to keep the environment in good condition. Colonel Gregory Bean has done a great deal for environmental sustainability, but says the job is not completely done yet.
Right now, they all overlap to some degree, and that center is where we're sustainable. Our goal is to make all of the circles merge so that sustainability is second nature to all of us.
From Baghdad back home to Bragdad, Fort Bragg is making an effort to become more environmentally sustainable. At Fort Bragg, I'm Sarah Moore, Carolina Week.
The efforts at Fort Bragg have spread beyond the base's walls. Sustainable Sandhills, a nonprofit based on the sustainability program at Fort Bragg, operates throughout the 6 counties surrounding the base.
From taking care of the environment to taking care of animals.
After the break, we'll tell you about 15 dogs that didn't receive the treatment they deserved and why their future might be in your hands.
A day in the life of Chapel Hill Greenways, brought to you by Chapel Hill Parks and Recreation. For more information, please call 919-968-2784 or pick up a map at any town facility.
Recycling a glass bottle saves enough energy to run the TV you're watching for 1 full hour. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Making a can from recycled aluminum instead of from raw materials reduces air pollution by 95%. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world.
Coca-Cola and Nestle are selling a drink they say helps you burn calories, but one UNC critic questions the claims. Carolina Week health reporter Kelly Dees has more.
UNC's Pit Stop says they sell 80 cans a week of the so-called calorie-burning drink Enviga. Nutrition professor Barry Popkin doubts the drink actually burns calories.
Have Nestle and Coke, with their research, shown that consuming this will help you lose calories? No.
Coca-Cola representative Ray Crockett writes in an email, Enviga is based on scientific research showing the benefits of caffeine and green tea's powerful antioxidant to invigorate metabolism and gently increase calorie burning. Coca-Cola says a clinical trial can back up their calorie burning claims, but despite our request, the company didn't supply us with a copy of the study.
And there was a
UNC media law professor Michael Hofges says there are limits to what companies can claim.
If it's a health-related claim, the advertiser is required to have competent and reliable scientific evidence. And generally speaking, what that means is having tests or research or studies that have been conducted or analyzed by someone who's professionally proficient to do that.
But Popkin says the makers of Enviga promise more than they can deliver.
So what these companies do is they don't claim exactly you will lose weight, but they imply it in all their advertisements in a variety of different ways. They say we're calorie burning, they say it may reduce weight.
Those advertisements have attracted students like UNC junior Jessica Helms.
I feel like the calorie burning isn't like an additional plus about it. That would be a reason why I would single this drink out more than others.
Helms says she drinks one Enviga a day. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kelly Dees, Carolina Week.
Just this afternoon, Coca-Cola sent us a copy of a study it says supports its claims. The study involved only 31 subjects and measured short-term energy expenditure, which could lead to increased calorie burning. The researchers' conclusion, when combined with a healthy diet and regular exercise, such a drink might provide benefits for weight control. Well, spring might be in the air, but did you know that flu season can last as late as May? That means you still need to take precautions to avoid getting sick. You can easily get the flu if you're out in public, and as college students, we're always around a lot of other people. Midterm stress will also make you more prone to the virus if you haven't gotten the right shot. Student Anna Hashej Blahovic says the flu is a virus you don't want to catch, especially now.
I've been sick for 2 weeks with the flu. I first had the flu and now it's turned into something worse. And I definitely wouldn't want to wish this on anyone right before spring break because actually it's ruined all of my spring break plans.
So here's how to keep your spring break flu-less. Wash your hands regularly. Keep your hands away from your face. Your mouth, nose, and eyes are direct portals for the flu. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you sneeze or cough. And of course, get a flu shot.
The town of Carrboro is taking action because residents made noise about a noise. This beeping crosswalk signal will be quieter soon. It's here on the corner of Greensboro and Main Street. The town will install crosswalk buttons so the noise will occur only when a pedestrian presses one. After Carrboro installed the audible signals, residents called them too loud. The town deactivated, reactivated, and turned the volume down, all in the past 3 weeks. But local resident Butch McCauley says the beeping sound isn't all bad.
Well, the beeping sound is really nice to have. So you give us like a wake-up call. It's time for us to walk down the street.
The crosswalk buttons should be installed as soon as the parts come in.
Most dogs receive love and care from their owners, but unfortunately not all animals in Orange County are that lucky. Reporter Brendan Anderson has the story about what can happen when dogs are mistreated.
One look in her eyes and you can see that something's not right. That's because this dog and 14 others are victims of their owner, who is accused of mistreating them. Orange County Animal Services Coordinator Irene Paul says she sees too many cases like this one.
They just have a large heart, but they don't have the time or the finances to commit to the welfare of the animals.
That lack of care forces the county to charge the owner, Gene Carlton, with 15 counts of animal cruelty and failure to dispose of 5 dead animals. Officers found the decaying bodies of several dead dogs in the woods right next to Carlton's property.
Right behind me in this field is where Carlton kept 15 dogs penned up together. Now, a month after her arrest, all that remains is this uprooted fence that once kept them in.
Animal Services Director Bob Morado says a major issue in this case is what he calls collecting.
There are people who lack a control that most people have to limit the number of animals they have and to care for them properly.
Responsibility for proper care of Carlton's dogs now belongs to the Orange County Animal Shelter, but the new additions can cause a burden.
It puts restrictions on our ability to house other animals.
The shelter will house the dogs at least until their owner's March 12th court date.
It is the animals themselves who suffer and who pay the price.
Carlton has posted a bond that pays the county to keep her dogs throughout the legal process. If she is found guilty of animal cruelty, she will lose her bond money and possibly even her dogs. In Chapel Hill, I'm Brendan Anderson, Carolina Week.
If Carlton does lose her dogs, the animal shelter hopes to rehabilitate them and put them up for adoption. For more information about the shelter, visit our website, carolinaweek.org.
We now welcome weathercaster Jonathan O. Hi, Johnny O. How's it going?
Hi, Johnny O. So it is just gorgeous outside today, and I really feel like spring is here.
Well, spring break is almost here, but first it's midterm time, and some people know how to multitask, but will it stay this nice during the break when we won't be studying? I'll let you know when we come back. Hear that?
How could I not?
They can't be serious. This is their third party this week and I have a test tomorrow.
Yeah, and they blocked me in again. Let's party! It's about time we got
Anything left in here? I bet they're gonna leave their garbage out again. They do this every time when they have friends over.
It's important to be considerate of others who live close to you. You wouldn't want neighbors like these. Make sure to control your garbage, obey Chapel Hill noise ordinances, park only in your driveway or other designated areas, obey all alcohol laws, and remember, we're all living in this community together, so be a good neighbor.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Jonathan O, and hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, and spring break is almost here. Let's take a look at your weather headlines. First of all, we're going to see dry conditions continue for the rest of the week. I was outside last night practicing for Ultimate Frisbee, and my hands got dry. And then every time I touch a doorknob, I get zapped. So we're going to continue to see that for the next few days. And the good thing is we're going to continue to see sunny conditions for the rest of the week. A slight fly into ointment on Saturday afternoon into the evening hours. I'll talk to you about that in just a bit. And our temperatures will start stabilizing. We saw temperatures earlier where we saw temperatures going up into the 60s, down to the 50s, but now we're going to see temperatures becoming more into the 60s for the rest of the week. Taking a look at the southeastern satellite radar, nothing to the west of us, but we do have a little bit of rain and snow to the north of us. We have a low pressure system located in Kentucky, and then we have a warm front and a cold front draped in right behind it. What that means is we have warm air moving into North Carolina, and it's going to stay warm for the next couple of days. However, this cold front will swing on by, and temperatures on Friday will drop into the 50s, and then it'll come back into the 60s for Saturday and Sunday. Let's take a look at the 4-day forecast for Tampa, Florida. A shout out to WFLA, thanking them for this forecast. That was our news director's old stomping grounds. And I have a good forecast for you. This is for the ACC tournament. Partly cloudy skies, sunny skies. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s. Lows will be in the mid-50s all the way to lower 60s. So can't make a mistake if you're headed down there for the ACC tournament. Now, here's a reminder for you. Don't forget to set your clocks 1 hour forward this coming weekend. We had a little bit of an early start because of congressional legislation. So you're going to lose an hour of sleep, but you're going to gain an hour of daylight. So that's good news for you. Let's take a look at your forecast for tonight. And it's going to be partly cloudy, and you're going to need your jacket because 35 is what we're expecting for Chapel Hill, 36 over at Duke and NC State, 37 degrees. And for tomorrow, under sunny skies, or basketball skies as we kick off the ACC tournament. Temperature 61 degrees over at NC State and 61 at Duke, 62 at UNC right here in Chapel Hill. And for the next 4 days, this is what you can expect. Sunny conditions, a slight chance of rain on Saturday evening into Sunday morning, a slight chance. Temperatures will again Friday be in the mid-50s, and then temperatures will be in the 60s, lows would be in the 30s and 40s. And if you're traveling this weekend, North Carolina might not be the best place because this weekend we'll be seeing a slight chance of rain. But if you're headed to any of the beach destinations on the screen, you'll notice the temperatures will be in the 80s and lows will be decently warm. So hope you have a great spring break.
Well, between the weather and the basketball, it looks like Tampa is the place to be.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Johnny.
Sportscaster Deshaun Brown joins us now. Deshaun, exciting news for Tar Heel fans.
Yes, great news. We found out yesterday freshman Brandon Wright, the ACC Rookie of the Year, the third time a Tar Heel has captured that award. Some good news.
Great news. Great news.
Coming up in sports, it's been a long and exciting season. We'll have a look at the upcoming ACC tournament and predictions about what you can expect.
Women's Center, may I help you?
The Women's Center is a nonprofit agency that has served as a meeting place for women in the Triangle since 1979, making it one of the oldest freestanding women's centers in the country. The mission of the Women's Center is to provide a supportive community where all women can inspire each other to grow, both personally and professionally.
I was going through a crisis at home, and I contacted Helpline, and they referred me directly to the Women's Center.
I think the Women's Center is really important for the community because it offers so many different kinds of resources, and if we don't have the resource here, we can find an avenue or a way for women to find the answers that they need.
It is inspiring. It's so exciting to be a part of something that really matters and really changes things.
You can support the Women's Center through membership or by sending a contribution to the Women's Center, 210 Henderson Street, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27514.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Deshaun Brown. Now, the ACC regular season has been tumultuous, turbulent, and topsy-turvy. Sports reporter Brandon Curry examines the past season and what you can expect from the Tar Heels in the ACC tournament.
Thursday, March 8th, Tampa, Florida. The #1 ranked ACC conference will begin separating the top dogs from the ones who should have stayed on the porch. UNC plays the winner of Clemson and Florida State. Predicting the outcome is simple. You just have to examine the regular season. Clemson beat Florida State twice. Carolina beat them both. But they both beat Virginia Tech, who swept the Tar Heels. But the Hokies were swept by NC State, who also beat Carolina. But then again, the Wolfpack lost to Clemson and FSU. And don't get me started on Maryland, who swept Clemson and Carolina, but split victories with the Seminoles. But then again, UNC and FSU beat Duke, who beat Clemson, who split games with Georgia Tech, who beat both FSU and UNC. You see, it's simple, because UNC has all ACC first team Tyler Hansbrough, who will set fashion trends with a protective mask after the incident. Plus, they have Brandon Wright, all ACC second team and ACC Rookie of the Year. Round that out with all ACC freshman team Ty Lawson, and you have a team that is capable of easily defeating either Clemson or FSU. In Chapel Hill, I'm Brandon Curry, Carolina Week.
You know, with March Madness heating up, football is probably the last thing on most of our minds. But Tuesday, several Tar Heel football players with NFL dreams showed off their skills to league scouts during UNC's Pro Timing Day. Scouts armed with stopwatches and clipboards timed the NFL hopefuls as they completed a series of drills. Senior safety Kareem Taylor displayed blazing speed as he turned in a 4.4-second time in the 40-yard dash. New Carolina football coach Butch Davis was on hand as the players participated in lateral movements and speed drills. Later, the players moved outside where they went through some reaction and some pass-catching exercises. Senior wideout Jesse Hawley thinks he wowed the scouts.
I think out here I really impressed them with just football stuff, being able to come in and out of routes. My hands, I didn't drop a ball, good balls, bad balls. I think I tucked it away and burst it well. For my size, you know, I think that's what a lot of teams are looking for now.
Softball team faced the Charlotte 49ers in a doubleheader Tuesday. In the bottom of the first, Jennifer Jacobs up to bat, bounces it to third base. The 49ers throw Jacobs out at first, but Cassie Palmer runs it in from third for the first score of the game. Palmer was just getting started. Bottom four, Palmer at the plate. She gets all of this one, knocks it over the left field fence. Palmer's homer put the Heels up 7-0. Still bottom four. Cassie Palmer up with the runner on. Knocks this one deep to center field. Almost hits the camera person out there. And guess who that is? Yeah, it's me. I guess I'll do anything for the Tar Heels, but they obviously don't need me in this one. The Tar Heels win it in 5, 16-0. The Heels continue their winning ways in Game 2, beating the 49ers 3-1. That extends the win streak to 6 games. The ladies will spend spring break playing in Clearwater, Florida. We've got a little golf update for you, and lately these guys have been just as successful as the softball team. The men's team finished second at the Seminole Intercollegiate Tournament in Tallahassee, finishing 6 over par, 5 strokes behind first place Auburn. Carolina still finished ahead of host Florida State and East Tennessee State. Martin Ureta fired the low round a 3 under 69. And guys, just an update on the baseball score. In the 6th inning, the Tar Heels are up 13-0 over Temple. They'll probably call the mercy rule on that one.
Yeah, I'd predict the win on that one.
Let's hope we keep that going. Thanks, Deshawn.
Thanks, Deshawn.
Well, we've all heard of backpacking or sailing around the world.
But have you ever heard of dancing around the world? We'll tell you why you don't have to have enormous talent to attract a worldwide following. This guy's story when Carolina Week returns.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine?
Here at Carolina, we are forging ahead in our tradition of cultivating leaders in research, teaching, and public service. As the nation's first public university, we are dedicated to setting the standard.
In my mind.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
YouTube has created a craze and made international stars of average people doing pretty average things. Christy Koryakin met one of YouTube's first mega celebrities when he came to Chapel Hill to do his thing in front of several campus landmarks.
Millions of people have seen his video on YouTube.com. Matt Hardy has become something of a pop culture phenomenon as he dances his way around the remote corners of the globe. Last night, you may have seen him as he took a pit stop at UNC. Hardy explained to an audience in the Great Hall how, after seeing his first video, Stride Gum actually offered to pay him to dance.
And they said, well, we'll actually pay for it if you want to make another video. And I said, that sounds like a great idea.
After showing off all his travel pictures, Hardy explained some of the little-known dangers of dancing.
I didn't really want to lift my feet too high off the ground.
Then he showed us a sneak peek of his dancing outtakes, all the stuff that didn't make it in his video the first time around, for one reason or another. And he left us with some practical travel advice.
So there's a little tip: if you ever go to Greece, they don't have a sense of humor about dancing in front of their holy religious sites.
Hardy says he has one more big trip planned for next year, but after that, who knows? But for now, you're still dancing.
For now, I'm still dancing.
Can we do a little dance together? Okay. In Chapel Hill, I'm Christy Koryakin, Carolina Week.
You know, if this desk wasn't here, I think I'd try to get you to do it with me.
I think I'd get right there with you. So, Kate, okay, what would you post on YouTube if you could post anything?
If I was trying to get famous?
Yeah.
I'd definitely sing show tunes.
You know, I do a pretty mean Cher impression, so I might try that. But luckily, we're out of time, so that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks very much for watching. Good night.